Hi, students. First of all, I want to let you all know that I miss you very, very much. And I've been thinking about you, and I can't wait to see you soon. One of my favorite things in the world, besides teaching, are donuts and coffee. So I wanted to share this book with you called Who Needs Donuts? It's got amazing artwork in it that might inspire you to do some of your own artwork. So it's Who Needs Donuts? Story and Pictures by Mark Allen Stamate. And I also love the theme behind this story. So here we begin. Who Needs Donuts? Story and Pictures by Mark Allen Stamate. Lots of really neat detail in this story with the pictures. Sam lived with his family in a nice house. He had a big yard and lots of friends. But he wanted donuts. Not just a few, but hundreds and thousands and millions more donuts than his mother and his father could ever buy him. Finally, one day, he hopped on his tricycle and he rode away to the big city. Looks like New York City. He didn't find any donuts until he met a man with a big wagon full of donuts. "Hello," said the man. "My name is Mr. Bickford, and you look like a boy who wants some donuts. I collect them, but it's very hard work for one person. Would you like to help me?" "Oh boy," said Sam. He climbed into Mr. Bickford's wagon and off they went. As they walked through the streets, they passed a sad old woman who was sitting on a doorstep. "Who needs donuts?" she shouted. "That's right, who needs donuts? When you've got love." There's the old woman. A few minutes later, they stepped in front of a huge warehouse. Mr. Bigford unlocked the door. And Sam walked into the darkness. When the lights went on, he saw more donuts than he had ever imagined that there could be. While Mr. Bickford emptied the wagon, Sam ate and he played in all of the donuts. Yippee! They went on collecting. Mr. Bickford knew all about the best places to look. And Sam learned his job very, very fast. Who does that look like? I believe that might be Abraham Lincoln. Off they went, he went collecting more and more donuts. Together, they collected so many donuts that their wagon broke down. Sam went looking for a telephone to call a repairman, but every phone he saw was out of order. At last, he found a woman with a big wagon full of pretzels. Her name was Pretzel Annie, and she had a telephone with a direct line to a wagon repairman. While Sam helped the repairman fix the wagon, something wonderful was happening between Mr. Bigford and Pretzel Annie. From the first moment that they saw each other, they fell in love. By the time the wagon was fixed, they had decided to get married and open up a pretzel store. Mr. Bigford gave Sam the wagon and all the donuts in it. "Don't you want to collect donuts anymore?" said Sam. "Who needs donuts?" said Mr. Bigford, and he and Pretzel Annie ran off together. A moment later, the sad old woman came walking by. "That's right," she said. "Who needs donuts when you've got love?" Suddenly, Sam found himself all alone in the big city with a wagon full of donuts. He took a bite of one, but he was too full to really eat it, and the idea of collecting more just didn't seem like any fun without Mr. Bickford. "What am I going to do with all these donuts?" he asked himself as he trudged down the street. Meanwhile, the sad old woman had gone home to her tiny little room in the basement of a coffee factory. While she lay there down for her afternoon nap, she didn't get much sleep, however, because at that moment a wild bull was escaping from the pet shop next door. It charged right into the coffee factory. It butted a hole in a giant vat of coffee and then ran away. The coffee poured all over the floor, down a stairway, and out into the basement. There's the bull. When the old woman woke up from her nap, she found herself over her head in a room full of lukewarm coffee. "Help! Help! Save me!" she cried. "I can't swim." Sam heard her screams, but he couldn't swim either, so he had to think fast. He pulled the donut wagon over to the window. "Who needs donuts?" cried the old woman. "You do," said Sam. And I'm going to take a break for a second and have a sip of coffee. And my coffee's lukewarm, just the way I like it. He tilted the wagon and he poured all of the donuts into the basement. The donuts soaked up all the coffee, leaving the old woman sitting in a shallow puddle. "You and your donuts have saved my life," she said. "How can I ever repay you?" She offered him her meager life savings to buy some more donuts, but Sam refused. "Who needs donuts?" he said. "I've got love." He said goodbye and he hopped on his tricycle and he rode home. And that is Who Needs Donuts. And I'm wishing all of you lots of love. And I hope you can have a treat like a donut. And I hope to see you in art class really, really soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.